Nearing 60,000, Bitcoin is very, very expensive. I'm not buying because of that. Please remember, you buy because you know that it's a store of value and you know the underlying technology attached to it. Teka, medyo overvalued siya. It's not supposed to be worth this much. Oh, ayoko na talaga mag-Bitcoin. It's gonna go to zero. So when is the best time to buy Bitcoin? Everyone would always say that the best time to have bought Bitcoin was over a decade ago when it was worth nothing, or when it dropped and corrected at the start of 2018 after its massive run in 2017 when it hit $20,000 US. People would always say that you could have bought Bitcoin also after the crash of March 2020, when it wasn't just stocks that was down in the Philippines or in the US, it was also cryptocurrencies when we saw Bitcoin drop below $4,000 US too. When you try to look at it, hindsight is always 2020. Pag tinignan mo that Bitcoin is nearing $60,000 US, by the time this video is out, it could be even beyond that, or it could be also lower. But a decade ago, it was really cheap. When you look at it, 2018 below 4,000, it was really cheap. When you look at it last year, March, below 5,000, 4,000, it was really, really cheap. But a decade ago, people thought that Bitcoin was a scam. People thought that it was something that would go to zero. Looking at it from now, it would have been a good time for me to invest in 2013. But at that time, based on the data, information, and the research that I had, it wasn't something that I was comfortable to get into it. And right now, what we are presented with also is, at some point at the start of the year, Bitcoin was just around $20,000 US, and in a span of 3 months, in a span of a quarter, we've seen it move up to around $60,000 US. And if you look at the context also, at some point just a few weeks ago, we saw Bitcoin hit around 42,000, retrace to 36 to 33 to 30, and drop to $28,000 US. At that time, people were thinking that, oh, it might still go lower, it might still retrace further. Now that we are back ranging to around 55,000 to 60,000 levels, comment below if you're thinking this, that nearing 60,000, Bitcoin is very, very expensive. There's a larger chance also that a correction may happen. There's a larger chance that this bull market for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin might also end. If it does, you might be buying it at a high price. If it does also and you have not bought, then it gives you a chance to just buy at a lower price later on. Similar to where we were when cryptocurrencies dropped in 2018, similar to where we were when cryptocurrencies dropped in 2020. We don't know it. We don't know if it will actually crash, or will this be the price range where Bitcoin will stabilize on it before it starts to push through, or we don't even know if this is where it will be altogether. But there's one thing that I do know, and there's one thing that I've been telling you. It always goes back to conviction, that if you truly believe in it and the technology, then it's something worth deploying into. And there's so many factors on how you could see how Bitcoin would go. I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in a previous video, but Bitcoin is considered digital gold. Since it's considered digital gold, it's gunning for the place of what gold is in terms of it being a storer of value. If it's gunning to be what gold is as a storer of value, by the time this video is out, Bitcoin is somewhere near the 1 trillion mark based on market capitalization. And just a trivia also for all of you, the market cap of Bitcoin right now is higher than the money supply of all of the Canadian dollars. So when people look at it as a storer of value, the market cap of gold is 10 trillion US dollars. So if you try to do the math, 1 trillion US dollars Bitcoin, 10 trillion US dollars gold. What does that mean? If Bitcoin wants to legitimize itself as digital gold, I believe it has a shot or even surpass the market cap also of gold. Please remember, this is a conviction play and it's still very far along the way. But if you look at it in that lines, given that Bitcoin right now is close to 60,000 US dollars, then you look at making a run from 1 trillion to 10 trillion, that means that it could still go up 10x. Possible range if the scenario of Bitcoin that it becomes as big as the market cap of gold, it could possibly place Bitcoin at around the 500,000 to 600,000 mark. But I'm not buying because of that. Please remember, you buy because you know that it's a storer of value and you know the underlying technology attached to it. If that's your logic, that it will remain as a storer of value, that it's digital gold, that it's scarce, stars that is actually better than gold. And if you try to analyze it also, I think it's actually better than gold, for the fact that if you own gold and you store it as a hedge, it will be very, very hard for you also to be able to liquidate it. For retailers, the market for it is not as easy to be able to buy and sell it also as compared to, say, the stock market, or say compared also to Bitcoin. It as a store of value and it being so liquid to transfer to use gives it so much advantages also versus traditional gold. Does Bitcoin have a merit to be a massive storer of value that could actually beat gold? Then if you analyze it from that perspective, at 55,000, at 60,000, comparing it to where it could be if it attacks the market cap of gold, then it looks very, very cheap right now. But please remember, the movement of it as an asset is also based on supply and demand. Meaning, if a lot of people also want to dispose of it, then you could possibly see large corrections. And please remember this, cryptocurrencies in general is very, very volatile. But it does not mean it's risky. Please remember, at 60,000, Bitcoin right now is closer to 100,000 than it is to zero. And the fact that people are adapting to it, people are getting used to it, people like it more now than what it was 10 years ago, gives a higher preference also and a precedence that, teka, that Bitcoin is here to stay. That the risk that a lot of people were thinking, and I myself, when I was just starting out also, it might not be there anymore. And now the biggest issue that you need to contend with yourself also, that is this the best time to buy Bitcoin, given that it has gone up massively since March 2020? Are you willing to buy it at a higher price where there are a lot of people who have bought it before and could sell at any given point in time and make a lot of money still? So that's what I'm saying. It will always go back to what's your underlying condition and narrative on why you are buying it. If you believe that it will beat gold, then the rationale that it's cheap right now is something that's there. What I mentioned pa lang is Bitcoin as a storer of value. I did not even mention it as the currency of the future. So think about it. If Bitcoin becomes a storer of value, but not just a storer of value, it becomes the currency of the future, that they find ways on how it can be used on day-to-day transactions, then the 500 to 600,000 value based on that particular market cap might be even higher. And please do note that don't buy it, don't invest in Bitcoin just because I say it. Please do your own due diligence in all of this, because it's your money, it's your responsibility. It's so important that you come in, that you deploy capital into something that you know, but above and beyond you knowing it, it's something that you have full conviction with. If I remember it properly, there's around 18 million Bitcoins already that's been released. And please remember, there will only be 21 million Bitcoins that will ever be circulated. So that means it's very, very scarce that once we've mined the final Bitcoin, that's it already. By the time we've mined the final Bitcoin, guess what? We're still gonna mine gold. If you believe that it's undervalued right now, based on whatever analysis you are using, storer of value, cryptocurrency in the future, for whatever reason, whatever rationale that you are putting into it, as you add those things together and then you see that it's undervalued, then you start to deploy capital. But at the end of the day, if you analyze it also and you see that, teka, medyo overvalued siya, it's not supposed to be worth this much, then you stay away from it. It will always go back to ano yung alam nyo, ano yung napag-aralan nyo, ano yung meron kayong conviction, because kung ano yung alam nyo, ano yung meron kayong conviction, yun yung magbibigay sa inyo ng comfort that you can sleep well at night knowing that there's a lot of volatility. Please remember, there will be a lot of volatility still in cryptocurrencies. I don't think mawawala yun. I forgot to mention this, no? When they have ETFs, when they start putting more ETFs surrounding Bitcoin, then that will, I think, also place a larger demand into it. When more corporations also put Bitcoin as part of their balance sheets as a substitute to cash, as a substitute to the dollar that has been printed massively over and over and over and over and over and over again, then Bitcoin continually will increase what its value is. And please do know that there's still a lot of risks on it. Governments still haven't fully accepted it. There's a large chunk still of institutions still not using it. That's why it will always be back on how your conviction will be, because when everyone accepts it already, then the price becomes stable. When the price becomes stable, then it doesn't give you that upside. And now I'm sharing this to you from a risk management perspective. I'm I'm still, up until now, even though I'm deploying more capital, more time, and attention towards Bitcoin, it's still a relatively smaller part of my portfolio. And even long term, no, I really think that it will maybe be around 10%. As of now, as of 2021, that's what I can say. It will just be that percentage of my portfolio up until I see maybe that I want to add some more, and up until I become more comfortable still. But I'm just willing to risk also an amount that if it goes to zero, or even if there's volatility, bumagsak siya 90%, 80%, 70%, that I am still comfortable in. Think about Bitcoin as digital gold. Think about Ethereum as digital oil. Think about Ethereum as having more use cases than Bitcoin. If you believe that Ethereum has a chance to have so much use cases, so much practical applications than what Bitcoin could ever do, then there's a chance also that it could go market cap wise similar to where Bitcoin is. So if it does that and you try to analyze it, teka, if it's around 200 billion US dollars right now and Bitcoin is around a trillion, if Ethereum goes to where the market cap of Bitcoin is, then there's a shot that Ethereum can go from 2,000 to 10,000, given that there's a lot of functionality attached to Ethereum versus the functionality that Bitcoin has. This is just me giving you regular snippets already on cryptocurrencies, and this is still a stock market channel. This is still a stock investing channel. It's just that over the past few months, I've been deploying a lot of time and attention towards cryptocurrencies, and I just wanted to share the journey. I'm not as adept into cryptocurrencies as compared to what I know about the capital markets, as compared to equities, but I'm learning, I'm growing, and the more I learn, the more I also want to share it to all of you. That I do hope that this gives value, I do hope that this helps you, and I do hope that for those who want to learn more about Bitcoin, that this gives you insight. Either from watching this video, it tells you that, oh, ayoko na talaga mag-Bitcoin, it's gonna go to zero. Oh, okay to, I'm really considering Bitcoin right now. I just want you to give timely, relevant information that will help you to decide. But ultimately, this is not me trying to sway you into copying what I'm doing. This is me nudging you to think and to pursue your finances even more, especially right now for people who are watching this that are my age, that you are in the prime of your earning years, that you are in the prime of you having the chance to make more. Then this is the best time to explore more investments. This is the best time also for you to take risk. At the end of the day, you will have to deploy capital into assets that will give you a return, into assets that will give you money later on. Better do it when you're young, better take the risk when you're young than you do it later on when you are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, when you are in the later half of your life already. Take the risk now. If you're new to this channel, my name is Marvin Gurma. As what I said, I'm a stock market trader and investor, and I've written 5 different books about investing in the stock market. If you want to learn via a book reading, links are in the description below of all of the books that I've written. And if you want to learn more via the online seminars that I have, I'm having a Zoom class where we're going to talk about technical analysis, which, by the way, you can use for Philippine markets, for US markets, and also for cryptocurrencies as well. We're having that live via Zoom this May 2021. For those who want to join us, the link is in the description below. But if you don't want to learn via books or via the online courses, we have 1,000+ videos on YouTube that you can consume. That's all for you, and the hope of that also is just to educate and give as much value to people as possible. There are people who've been asking, where do you store your cryptos? I've put different links below, from cold wallets to hot wallets to brokerage platforms to CFD platforms, and how you can trade it. Everything is in the description below. Then if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section. Message me via Patreon at Marvin Gurma, or message me via Instagram at Marvin Gurma as well. I know it's Good Friday, so use this time not just also to reflect, not just to think about the sacrifice of Jesus for us. Also, take the time to reflect on how you want your future to be. That I know that we are still in the midst of one of the largest pandemics. We are still in the midst of one of the largest lockdowns that we've ever seen. But I'll tell you, there's so much opportunity around. There's so much opportunity around. There's so much investment possibilities around. Please, please, I beg you, take the time to build your investment prowess. Take the time to build that investment acumen, because it's that will help you make money over the future. Walang lalaban para sa kinabukasan nyo more than you. There's no one who will fight for your future more than you. There's no one who will save and invest hard for your financial freedom more than you. So I implore you, please take the time to study. Please take the time to double down and be better. So that's it for now. Marvin Germo. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, and God bless you all.